The Football World Cup will take place in Russia for the first time next summer, from June 14th until July 15th. Germany will defend its title after winning the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. 12 stadiums and 11 towns situated across 3 time zones will host the 32 qualifying teams for the 21st World Cup. In order to limit travel for teams during the group phase, stadiums have been distributed across 4 geographical zones. In the northwest, Kaliningrad and St. Petersburg.
Kaliningrad is the westernmost section of Russian territory. It's cut off from the rest of the country, wedged between Poland and Lithuania. Once known by its German name Königsberg, it fell under Moscow's control after the end of World War II. Its capacity for the World Cup is 35,000. The controversial spaceship-like stadium in Russia's historic second city took almost a decade to build. It cost an estimated $800 million, prompting corruption allegations. Set to become the home of local team Zenit, the arena was also targeted for criticism after it was revealed labourers from North Korea helped build it. As for the pitch, it's been replaced twice. For all that, its retractable roof makes it popular with fans. Its capacity for the World Cup is 68,000.
In the centre, Moscow and Nizhny Novgorod.
The Luzhniki is Russia's most iconic arena. Opened in 1956 and the main stadium for the 1980 Olympic Games, it will stage the final of the 2018 World Cup, having undergone a complete renovation. The stadium hosted the 1999 UEFA Cup final, the 2008 Champions League final, the Rugby Sevens World Cup, and the Athletics World Championships in 2013. Its capacity for the 2018 World Cup is 81,000. The home ground of Russia's Spartak Moscow since it was built in 2014, Spartak Stadium has been the scene of many fiery clashes in the country's top league. The arena hosted 3 Confederations Cup group matches before opening up to fans for the World Cup. Its capacity for the tournament is 45,000. During the Soviet period, Nizhny Novgorod, then named Gorky after its most famous resident, writer Maxim Gorky, was a closed military city that foreigners were barred from visiting. With a view to shaking off its past as a place where anti-Kremlin dissidents were sent into exile, it hopes in the future it'll be remembered for hosting spectacular World Cup matches. Its capacity for the World Cup is 45,000.
In the east, Saransk, Kazan, Samara, Ekaterinburg.
Saransk has few claims to fame outside Russia, beyond once being the registered home of French actor-turned-Russian citizen Gérard Depardieu. But the city of 300,000 is making its mark as a World Cup venue and hosts 4 group matches in the specially built stadium. Its capacity for the World Cup is 45,000. Home to 2-time champions Rubin Kazan, the stadium opened in 2013 for the Summer Student Games. It's also hosted the World Water Sports Championship. The stadium's been at the centre of the majority Muslim Tatarstan region's endeavours to put itself on the sporting map. Its capacity for the World Cup is 45,360.
Resembling a glass dome, the design concept for Samara Arena was inspired by the theme of space as a tribute to the traditions of the region and its aerospace sector. After Russia 2018, the $300 million stadium will be the home of FC Krylia Sovetov. Its capacity for the World Cup will be 45,000.
The venue lies some 1,500 kilometers east of Moscow, near the Ural Mountains, in a city famous as the place where Russia's last royal family was killed. It's the most far-flung ground to host World Cup games, and is home to one of the country's oldest football clubs, FC Ural. Originally built in the 1950s, the architectural showpiece has had a major facelift. Although it retains its historic facade, a roof and temporary stands have been fitted for Russia 2018. Its capacity for the World Cup is 35,000.
and in the south, Volgograd, Rostov-on-Don and Sochi.
Formerly called Stalingrad, the southern city of Volgograd was once the scene of the bloodiest battle of World War II, as Soviet forces finally turned the tables on Nazi Germany. Now the purpose-built arena is hosting 4 World Cup group matches, before being handed over to local 3rd Division side Rotor Volgograd. Its capacity for the World Cup is 45,000.
Rostov-on-Don lies just 60 kilometers away from the border with war-torn East Ukraine, where Russian-backed rebels continue to battle government forces in a conflict that's claimed thousands of lives. But despite its location on the edge of a war that's pitched Moscow against the West, the city is aiming to focus on football, not fighting, when the World Cup rolls around. After the World Cup, it'll be home to 2014 Russian Cup winners FC Rostov. Its capacity for the 2018 World Cup will be 45,000.
The arena in the Black Sea resort is no stranger to the international spotlight, having hosted the opening and closing ceremonies for the 2014 Winter Olympics. Since then, it's been refitted as a football venue, and the first match in March 2017 was a 3-3 draw between Russia and Belgium. The capacity for the former Olympics showcase is 47,600.
With an average distance of 600 kilometres between host cities and 3,000 kilometres separating the most eastern location from the most western, travel logistics for supporters and sportsmen is one of the most demanding aspects of the competition. But it's security which poses the biggest challenge for the world's largest sporting event. Russia faces the twin threats of terrorism and hooliganism.